How y'all doing out there? It's your favorite redacted homeboy coming to you once again from an undisclosed location. And I'm just going to make this video pretty short. I wasn't expecting to actually make a video today, but I want to kind of talk about the Diontae Johnson situation. And there's more of a situation with Diontae Johnson than a lot of people want to admit. And it stems from his performance in that game on Sunday. And certain comments he made to Brooke Pryor, who covers the Steeler games for ESPN. And there's a little part of what he said that's really kind of digging at me. And I mean, at first I wasn't going to really talk about it, but the more I think about it, the hotter I'm getting, and the more it bothers me. And I'm going to read to you what bothers me, the little part that's everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I'm going to read it to you. This is what he said to Brooke Pryor. This is after the game when he had those two big drops that killed early drives when we were still in the game. Now, first off, I'm not going to sit here and say that if he would have caught those passes and got those first downs, we would have won. There was no chance in hell the Steelers were winning that game, but still, these were drive killers. And also, I want to establish right off the bat that I have actually praised Diontae a lot this year because he has put in the work to really help improve his hands. So he deserves a lot of praise and respect for that, and I have given that to him over on social media and things on Twitter. I've complimented the hands, but there's a flip side to that coin. And I'm a person who believes that you should be accountable in things. It's like, I guess I'm more old school because today, let's face it, today's generation, there's not a whole lot of accountability. This generation is just, it sucks. I'm just glad I'll never have a child to bring into this world because this generation has just gotten so soft and it's so entitled and everything. It's just, this is, and this right here is like, just it fits this generation to a T. And here's what he said, and we'll get into it. He told Brooke Pryor, "Sometimes you drop the ball. Big deal. Bounce back from it, make another play." That's what I did. I was able to get in the end zone and still make a couple plays after the two drops I had. Now, on the surface of that, he's like, hey, you got to bounce back, which is true. He said bounce back from it, make another play. That's very true. But what I read into this line here and what he said is what now this may be nothing, but this is how I interpreted what he said. It's like, okay, yeah, I dropped two passes that killed early drives in the game when we were still in the game. But that's okay because I caught some balls later on and got a touchdown when we were down 35-7 and the game was already over. So to me, he said, it's like he doesn't care that he dropped two third down passes early in the game when we were still in the game and the defense is playing their heart out. But that doesn't matter because he got his stats in garbage time. That's how I interpret this. And it goes, this is just another example of the total lack of discipline, leadership, and accountability on this football team. And I say this, and a lot of the Steelers faithful say, I don't know what I'm talking about, it's horrible, I'm just negative, I'm a hater, and if I criticize certain people, I'm either a hater or a racist or whatever. No, I'm not a hater. I'm just one of the Steeler fans that's not delusional. Because let's face it, the Steelers have a very passionate fan base, but whether you want to admit it or not, the Steelers fan base is one of the most toxic, entitled, and delusional fan bases in sports. I know you think you rise, that you are on another level than to other fan bases, but you're really not, okay? You're not much better than other toxic fan bases. And the level of delusion in this, that's like, certain people, doesn't matter, can do no wrong. Like, Ben can do no wrong. Juju can do no wrong. Diontae can do no wrong. And that's just not true, okay? This team has lacked leadership and accountability from the top down for years. This team, and like it's on Tomlin, it's on Ben, it's on the ownership, it's on them just allowing certain players to create toxic environments and make and other setting an example for younger players that says, well, hey, they're not going to do anything. As long as I can produce on the field, they're not going to do anything to me, so I can just do whatever the hell I want. And you see that with Chase Claypool. You see that, believe it or not, with Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't like Juju, okay? And I'm not a hater, I'm not a racist, and I'm not jealous. I think Juju is fake. I have thought that since 2019. I was a Juju fan at first. I loved Juju, but then after Antonio Brown left and he became the main man, a lot of things started to come out. He started doing a few things that really got on my nerves and showed me that he is not the leader and not the person that people seem to think he is. But that's another story for another time. And I'm not going to convince anybody that Juju is not this great team guy who only cares about the team and that he only came back this weekend because he wanted to help the team win, when I think he came back because he's a free agent and he hoped to have a big game so he can help get a bigger contract. That's why I think he came back. But that's, like I said, this is about Diontae. And Diontae, for all of his skill, just that mentality right there shows me he does not deserve wide receiver 1 money. He doesn't, because he seems to care more about his stats, whether it's in garbage time or not, than dropping 2 key third down passes early in the game. Now, I get everybody drops passes. It happens. Shit happens. Nobody's perfect. Jerry Rice dropped passes. But you know what also what Jerry Rice would have done if he had played like that and had those 2 drops that cost us drives and then put up numbers in garbage time? He would have owned it. He would have held himself accountable for it, and he would have worked his ass off to fix that problem. And Diontae has put in the work. But his attitude, especially because towards the end of the season he had a lot of drops, and it's starting to, and the criticism is starting to get to him, and whether the criticism is warranted or not, dude, you're a public figure, okay? You need to realize that. Whether you like it or not, whether anybody likes it or not, you're going to be criticized for what you do. You're getting paid a lot of money, and you're going to get paid a lot more money to catch a football, okay? Your job, compared to other people's, is not that hard. I understand that there's a lot of work that goes into it, and not if everyone could do it, everyone would. I get that, but, if you can't handle the fact that some people are criticizing you for for dropping passes, this statement's not going to help that. I mean, this just shows that you're mentally weak, for one. You should have just said, yeah, I dropped the pass, I cost my team some drives, I got to work on that, and we'll just have to come back and be better next year. That's what you should have said. But no, you had to get all bitchy and whiny about it, and you just basically showed how mentally soft you are. And that's just, like I said, that's indicative of a larger problem with this football team. And it starts with Mike Tomlin, who has allowed this culture of not holding anybody accountable and letting people get away with whatever they want. It started really with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was, there was a few other players, but Antonio Brown was obviously the example because he's just nuts. But now, I'm not saying Mike Tomlin is responsible for everything that AB did, because AB's his own man and he does his own thing and there's something mentally wrong with him. But how many years did he allow him to get away with these little things all the time? And Ryan Clark said it when they drafted him, and Ryan Clark was on his way out. He's mentioned that the second you give this guy money, it's going to go south. And that's exactly what happened. Once he got his money, and he produced on the field. There's no doubt about that. And he put in the work. Like I would never criticize his production on the field or the work he put into it, because he was, one of the hardest workers in the league. But Mike Tomlin is the coach. It comes really down to him. He's the one in charge of that organization. I don't care what anyone says. It's not Art Rooney. Art Rooney is so damn senile at this point. He doesn't even know whether the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart. Kevin Colbert, he's been on his way out, and Mike Tomlin runs things in Pittsburgh. Okay, that's just a given. And he has just allowed this culture of zero accountability and absolutely no discipline. And you're seeing it now. Now they finally got rid of AB, and of course they had to eat 2 years of a shit ton of dead money for the contract they signed him, and they just got rid of him. And now with the whole situation with Chase Claypool, like in the Minnesota game when he went to do his little first down motion after the catch when we didn't have any timeouts, it cost us about 5 seconds, which would have given us another play after the Freiermuth drop. Now, I'm not saying that cost us the game, but it cost us a chance, one more chance to win the game, or at least tie the game. And he didn't come out and say, well, I messed up big time. He didn't care. Did you see the press conference with Claypool? He didn't give a shit. He just cares. He cares about getting his. He doesn't care about the team. And Juju's the same way. And, people are going to hate me for this, but Juju he cares more about his TikTok clout than he does the team. I don't care what he says or what people think. And he hasn't really produced shit since Antonio Brown left. Okay, people want him to be re-signed. Why do we need his 8.5 yards per catch? Any receiver can do that. Why are you going to pay top dollar for someone who does that? You can draft any receiver in the draft can average 8-9 yards a catch. So, but anyway, like I said, we've established, I don't like Juju. I don't really care about Claypool. I never really liked Claypool because he's your typical spoiled Notre Dame punk who thinks he's better than everybody else. And he makes big plays, and he's got a lot of athletic ability. He's gifted, but I mean, how many times are we going to watch Claypool do this little clown shit and try to turn every catch into a SportsCenter top 10 highlight when all he has to do is reach his hands up and grab the damn thing? That bothers me. And the receivers are the biggest divas. They're obviously the biggest divas on the field, but they're one of the most toxic groups on this team. Like, how many times over the last couple of years has this team come out flat, uninspired, unprepared, just completely uninterested in playing football? But then, around the second quarter, they start getting going, they score a touchdown, and even though the team has looked like complete shit and a total unorganized mess, as soon as they score a touchdown, you'll see guys like Juju or Claypool leading a very elaborate, well-thought-out, well-choreographed touchdown celebration. So they work on those things, and those things go off without a hitch. But, when it comes to preparing for the game, oh, no, we don't have time for that. To hell with that. We're just here to get our stats and get our money. So, but Diontae is becoming a problem. Now, before, I never really had any issues with him, with his attitude. But now, after that, he's shown his true colors of what kind of person he really is. And it's not exactly a good thing. So, this team is going to have to be paying a lot of diva receivers, and if Mike Tomlin, he can't establish anything anymore with this team. That ship has sailed. He has proven he wants to be the player's coach, and he wants to be their buddy rather than their coach. Now, I'm not saying that he has to be a complete dick or a complete asshole to the players, but you know what? Maybe if you would separate yourself a little bit from that, you might have some more success. I mean, look, guys like Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick have more rings than you, and they weren't exactly loved by their players. And you can be loved and respected by your players and still jump their ass when they screw up. See Bill Cowher. Everyone loved Bill Cowher, but when they screwed up, and when this team was playing like crap, Bill Cowher didn't stand on the sidelines chomping gum with his eyes bulged out of his head, acting like he doesn't know what the hell to do. In his mind, I think he's going over whatever tired cliche he's going to give for the team's rotten performance at the post-game press conference. So, Tomlin lost this team a long time ago. And I'm not going to, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't care. Mike Tomlin, he's a decent head coach. He was gifted a Super Bowl caliber team full of Hall of Famers and Pro Bowlers, and he did win a Super Bowl with that team. But the last 10 years, the team has gotten progressively worse. And the reason this team was successful to begin with was not because of Tomlin. It was because of Roethlisberger. And now that Ben's gone, he's going to find out. Next year, he's going to have his first losing season. He's had the not having a losing season in his career is more attributed to Ben than his coaching. I'll tell you right now. Ben and the high-end talent that they have had over the years have bailed them out of a lot of situations. And this team does not perform well. This team did not deserve to go to the playoffs, like I said in my last video, in my profane, pissed off just rant that I had. I'm just a little irritated now. Not really pissed off. Like I said, I wasn't going to make this video, but Pittsburgh has a serious culture problem. I know, like I said, people want to believe that this team is above everything. It's the model organization in sports, and that's just complete, total bullshit. But that's just, like I said, the delusional, entitled, and toxic fan base who have made themselves believe that. Honestly, our fan base, a lot of our fan base, are exactly like Trump supporters. They are so delusional that they see absolutely no wrong in the organization, and no one in the organization can do any wrong. And they're not all like that, but there are a lot of people like that on social media. And like I said, I've probably lost a few subscribers on my channel because of my takes on it. I might lose a couple here, especially when I think about Juju. Because Juju is not a leader. People think he's a leader. He's not a leader. And they've seen his example over the last couple years. Diontae Johnson and Chase Claypool have followed his example of being a complete prick and caring more about your sweet dance moves on TikTok and thinking about, you know, whatever personal stats you get rather than being a team player. And that's the problem with this generation, because in my generation, the reason why this is pissing me off so much is because my generation, when I grew up, we wouldn't stand for that. I guarantee you, after what Claypool did, and with some of the stuff that Juju has done over the last 3 years, and what the comments that Diontae made about that, there would be someone having a chat with these guys. And that's what the Steelers lack, is leadership. They have no leadership. No one's a leader. The closest thing this team has to a leader is Cam Hayward, and like, he's the kind of guy who should be grabbing these dudes by the ear, pulling them into the showers, and just, you know, giving them a little like bitch slap upside the head and tell them to straighten up. That's the problem. There's nobody on this team like that, and Ben's not a leader. Hell, like I said, I still think Ben's going to change his mind and come back next year, but people think that Ben is this great leader. You're absolutely nuts. Ben's Ben, okay? Ben has always been Ben. I don't care how much of a family man he became or how much quote-unquote religion he's got in his life. He's still the same person he's always been, okay? And he's not a very likable person, and he didn't have the best reputation around Pittsburgh. Now, he may have helped rehabilitate that reputation a bit, but deep down, everyone knows Ben is still Ben. But like I said, I went off on another tangent here. It was just going to be a short video about Diontae, but it's just, I had to lump it all in here because this is indicative of a larger problem in Pittsburgh. And until they fix this culture issue, they're not going to be successful. They're not. They may fall ass backwards into the playoffs thanks to the NFL adding that 7th playoff team, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, because the 2 7 seeds got absolutely annihilated and proved that they did not belong anywhere near the damn playoffs. So, I don't know. It's not going to fix itself because the Steelers won. They don't fire people, so they're going to keep, even if people leave, they're just going to promote from within and keep the same exact players, the same exact systems, the same exact culture. And like I said, it starts with Tomlin, and it should end with Tomlin. And it should end with Tomlin either being fired or resigning, because Mike Tomlin has already lost his locker room. And people can say nice things about him, but I guarantee you very few people on that roster respect him enough to actually listen to him. Now, he may go and tell some of you guys, hey, you need to cool it with this stuff. You know what I mean? You need to just, to dial it down a bit and everything. And they're like, yeah, okay, coach, no problem. But you know damn well they're not going to do it because they don't respect the guy. Because they're walking all over him. He lets them get away with everything because they produce on the field. And that's a problem. Okay, they can produce on the field, but, sometimes you need some discipline. And this team has none. So until they fix that problem, this team is not going to be successful. And now we're not going to have these players. And granted, we got a lot of cap space, and we're going to maybe bring in some players. I don't know. Like I said before, if I was a free agent, I wouldn't want to come here. Honestly, I would honestly consider, if I was a free agent and I was going to make a big contract somewhere, I would instruct my agent not to even take a call from Pittsburgh because you're not going to be successful there. I mean, the fan base, they love the team, but like I said, it's toxic, delusional, and entitled. And it's no better. It's not quite as insufferable as the Cowboys fan base, but it's not a whole lot better. People think that they're so much better than the Cowboys fan base or the Patriots fan base, or hell, even the Philly fan base. They're not that much better. But, people got to quit blindly following this team and just wake up, open your eyes to what's going on. But anyway, I'm sorry this video ran this long. I wasn't expecting to go on that kind of a tangent. But I do thank you for watching. And honestly, I want you to tell me what you think in the comments. Whether you think I'm right, wrong, I'm an idiot, or what. Just give me your opinions, because I honestly want to know what you people think. And again, I thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I hope you join me in the next video. Peace out.